One 9/11 widow has been a large part of the movement to declassify those government intelligence documents. Alongside many of the people who wrote that letter to President Biden, Terry Strada did not sign the letter, though. She is the national chair of the Organization of 9/11 Families and Survivors United for Justice Against Terrorism. She joins us now live. And first of all, our condolences to you. I know it's been a really rough 20 years, and we appreciate you being here on Prime for us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, as I mentioned, you were a big part of this movement, but you didn't sign the letter. Why not?
Yes, I don't feel that being very adversarial towards the administration or towards this president is the way to get what we want. I would very much like to still meet with the president, to have a sit down with him, to invite other family members to come in and talk about all of these issues, all of these problems that we're having. That letter's outdated. It served a purpose. We sent a new letter just a week ago asking for a meeting with him, and I'm still very hopeful that that will happen. I support the legislation. That's where my focus has been for the past several months now. It takes a lot of work. It's a lot of effort to have members of Congress, these esteemed members, these very high-ranking senators on board with, introducing the Transparency Act that we introduced on Thursday. So that's been my focus, and I'm still very hopeful that the president's going to come on board and support us.
What sort of answers are you looking for here? What do you think is in these documents?
Well, there was a decades-old investigation into the Saudi involvement, and I said decade. It took about 10 years. Past the 9/11 Commission, the government held this investigation into the Saudis, and that's what we're looking for. We want to know the findings of that investigation. There's other files too. So they were served a subpoena 3 years ago, and within that subpoena, they've just completely ignored some of the things we've asked for. So the legislation will now compel them, it will mandate them to take a look, to review all of these files, to pull out everything that they have in their possession, everything that they've denied showing us, run it through this declassification process review. It will also, a review process, it will also bring out all the documents that are classified, all the documents that they have state secrets on. Everything will have to now go through AG Garland and whoever he appoints to take a look and put it through this process, and we'll see what the Trump administration did, which was overzealously use the state secrets privilege. And we're hoping that this administration will, declassify documents, will lift the state secrets on some of the documents, but just as importantly, let us see the documents they've been withholding from us that has to do with the Saudi Arabian government, agents that work for the Saudi Arabian government here on our soil, supporting the hijackers and, giving them the financial that they needed to carry out the attacks. It's all there. The government has a trove of information that they have not shared with us, and that's what we're asking for.
And you've said that all of these administrations since 2001 have sided with the Saudis more than the 9/11 families. What do you mean by that, and what do you think the motivation is for not declassifying this? They've said that it's national security concerns.
Yeah, that's really not true, especially 20 years later. That's not true, that there's a threat to national security. They want to protect their sources and methods. I'm fine. Protect your sources and methods. It's the findings that we want. So what has each administration done? Well, President Bush started the problem when he excised 28 pages from the joint inquiry, and those 28 pages had to do with the Saudi involvement of 9/11. So it took a very long time and a fight, and Congress supported us. We got those 28 pages released under President Obama, but he then redacted just enough information, some of the very key things that were in there, that still made it hard. But there were very important things in those 28 pages. So it's indisputable that the Saudis were involved in 9/11. President Obama also vetoed the Justice Against Sponsors of Terrorism Act. So he vetoed JASTA, which was the bill that we needed to pass in order to fix what the courts were doing, misinterpreting the law, and they weren't allowing us to hold the kingdom accountable in a courtroom. We finally overrode the veto, or Congress did, and the law passed. And within JASTA, we are entitled to all of the evidence that exists. So they are ignoring the law under President Obama and now under President Biden. And he's only been in office, not a full year yet. And like I said, we just wrote this letter to him last week asking for a meeting. I think this legislation was enacted, I wish we just could give it a little breathing room and allow it to sink in, what we're asking for. And I think the president will want to talk to us and will want to start to work with us. And I have a group of family members that are very strongly want to sit down and meet with him. And that is really what we're still hoping for.
And before I let you go, I just want to check in with you on a personal level, what this journey has been like for you, handling your grief, handling the shock of it all, handling the whole mourning process, and then on top of it, fighting so hard to get answers about what happened to your husband.
Yeah, it has been a very difficult road. My children were very young, so they were 7 years old, 4, and 4 days old when Tom was killed. And I never could have imagined that I was going to be a single mother and raise my kids by myself, but also raise them with such emotional scarring from the event. It was very difficult to hear that your father was killed and murdered by terrorists on American soil, and then try to raise them to have any type of sense of security. And I started all of this in 2002 when I joined to announce the lawsuit against the kingdom. And I've been on this journey ever since. And my children motivate me. They're growing up in a post 9/11 world. I think they and all the children that lost a parent, all the children since 9/11, they all deserve a safer America. I don't believe we're safe as long as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia continues to fund Al-Qaeda, terrorist organizations, and that there are terrorist organizations out there vowing to kill and destroy Americans. And the children motivate me, but so does the love that I had for my husband. I can see you're showing some pictures of him. I was so blessed to have such a wonderful man in my life. And all of our friends were killed that day too. I lost dozens of people that I knew and cared about. They all deserve the truth. Our military that have sacrificed and given their lives in faraway countries, since 9/11 and because of 9/11, they deserve the truth. And so do the families that have lost their loved ones to 9/11 illnesses. This is really for everyone. We all deserve the truth. The American people deserve it as well.
Terry Estrada, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Okay, thank you for having me.